Take the hit, take the hit, take the hit. Welcome back to FPL Take the Hit. You're here with Mick and Joff, and today we are doing Mick's team review, my team review for Game Week 26. Well, yeah, this part of Game Week 26, the split game week that we're in the midst of, Joffy boy. All right, mate, well, let's get onto my team. So I've still got Matty Ryan in goal, where he's just been stinking up the place, unfortunately. Has not kept a clean sheet since I brought him in my team, which was, I think it was in Game Week 23 against Villa. So he's got me some 2-1, 2-2. So Matty Ryan will be probably on the chopping block once I wildcard, which I cannot wait for. He's had some really nice fixtures, but just disappointing. So yeah, I'm going to hold on to him purely because I really want Henderson, but he blanks in Game Week 28, so there's no point in me bringing him in just yet. Nah. So we'll have to wait and see about that one. Moving on to my defense, so Johnny Lundstrom, I actually ended up holding him. There was a lot. The upheaval over Johnny Lundstrom this week was granted in the end because Wilder did bench him, but I just thought from what I saw in his last performance where he came off the bench for 20 odd minutes, he looked great and he got massive plaudits from Wilder. So I thought, okay, that's probably going to happen again. You know, so be it. I don't want to burn a transfer on taking out Lundstrom if he's going to come off the bench and do what he usually does. And that's exactly what happened. He came off the bench and do what he usually does. He scored a goal and a really nice goal. So I think that's going to put a lot of pressure on Wilder to see if whether or not, you know, Lundstrom gets back in the team. And obviously his immediate replacement was the signing Burge, who has taken his spot. But I mean, if you look at Wilder's comments, Joff, which I'm sure you have, you know, he said John can't do anything more than what he has done over the last 2 game weeks. He has a decision to make. Does he feel sorry for himself, or does he got out and contribute for us? Does he get out and contribute for the team? And he did that for us. So that comment alone just says John Lundstrom is back in the starting 11 next week. And at the same time, obviously, he has competition for his spot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I kind of read the situation before I took him out for Egan this week, basically from him being benched. And I was right because he's basically saying he feels guilty for taking him out because he's been such a competitor, such a warrior. Because he's been such a warrior. The guy is an absolute menace, you know, especially as an FPL defender. He's been great for all of us owners, and I sold him. But it's something that I feel like it's either, you're right, that the comments either mean, yes, he's back in the starting lineup, or it's guilty again, is that he's got to bench him again for the next game. So I'm all ears. I just can't wait to see what happens here and what he's going to do in the coming weeks, because he knows how explosive this guy is. You know how he's just hard on sleeve kind of guy. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Wilder. So with Burge, or if he rotates Fleck or Norwood in the midfield. So yeah, to be continued, I reckon. Yeah.
Another quote from Wilder, Joff. We took John out. He needed a breather. He's had a fabulous first part of the season, but we recruited well in January. They've all got to go again and try and get back in the team, which I think John has done more than enough to get back in the team, mate. So, I mean, one of my main sticking points too with Lundstrom was the fact that they blanked in Game Week 28. If they didn't blank in Game Week 28, I probably would have moved him on to someone like Egan or O'Connell or something like that, because then I don't have to worry about Game Week 28. But if I'm going to move Lundstrom to another Sheffield player who blanks in 2 weeks, it was just silly for me to do that, because then all of a sudden I've got to make another transfer to make sure I've got an 11 for Game Week 28, which I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. So that was my thinking behind it. And nice. I mean, obviously I got very lucky to get rewarded with that goal, but good on Johnny Lundstrom. He's not going anywhere, and hopefully he fights for his spot, mate. Moving on to the rest of my defense, I've got Fernandes in there against Arsenal. Newcastle's run coming up is immaculate there. They can keep clean sheets. Steve Bruce, he's a defensive manager, and Fernandes, whenever they do keep a clean sheet, he likes to pick up all 3 bonuses. So he's going to be in a lot of teams coming up. I got on him super early. Yeah, didn't do much for me to begin with, but he's coming good now, and he's really coming into a really nice slab of about 7 fixtures coming up, where they've got Palace, Burnley, Southampton, Sheffield, Villa, Bournemouth, West Ham. So just some sexy fixtures in there. Hopefully he keeps me a few clean sheets, because he's going to be playing pretty much every week for me, especially with Kelly and Kelly basically just stinking out my bench. He's going to go for sure. Next up, we've got Trent Alexander, obviously mainstay. Not much to say about him. He won't be going anywhere. Captain Salah. So obviously this is all locked in and everything, but there is a small chance that Salah gets his minutes managed, even though he did post on Twitter that he's been spending his holiday in the gym, so he hasn't even gone on holiday. Salah's just pumped, ready to go against this Norwich team.
Love the
He's
guy.
no distraction kind of guy, you know what I mean? So Salah's ready to rock. I think he'll start that game, probably get a hat trick,
I
and
think
just make everyone froth over him.
I think he's having a baby as well. I think his wife's delivering soon. Is that right? I think that's right.
I think she did. I think she did actually have a baby.
Congratulations,
I think it was
Mr.
yesterday.
Salah. Yeah,
Congratulations,
love
Mohammed. Yes, congratulations.
love the guy.
Next up, I got Grealish. He's really on the chopping block for me, Joff. He's done such wonders for me, but he's been a bit slow of late, and he does blank in 28 as well. So that's a bit. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be hard to hold him, but I will see. I'll see what happens around that time. I haven't made a firm decision yet on whether or not to get rid of Mr. Grealish, but we'll see what happens there. Well, yeah, up against Tottenham at home, Villa relegation battle. That's going to be an interesting game, especially coming up against my latest recruit, Sonny Boy, the Korean barbecue. He came back into my team after his bloody red card not too long ago. So I've got him back in there. I saw him take that penalty, and I saw his words after that penalty, and I just thought, wow, that's the first penalty that they've had, that Kane hasn't taken in, I don't know, a long time.
A long time.
And Son stepped up and took it, and his comments were just something along the lines of, I was very confident. I haven't taken a penalty in ages, but I was confident, and I put it away. So if he's on penalties, he's playing up front with Bergwijn coming in on the wing now. Sonny's up front with some service. I think he's going to do some damage, especially against this Villa team that like to concede goals. So I thought, why not bring in Sonny Boy, see what he does. And then my forward line, Joffy Boy, Jimenez, obviously he's a mainstay. He's not going anywhere. I think he's been just as good as he was last season. Let's have a look at his run here. So he's sitting on 11 goals, 6 assists. Last season he got 13 goals, 10 assists. So he should eclipse last season's tally, which is expected from Jimenez. Like he was in our starting 11 when we first started this season, but the only downside was obviously Europa, which in the end didn't really have much of an ill effect on him.
Can you imagine that he actually didn't play Europa League? Like, how many goals would he be on? Because he's played every game, I get it, but he's still tired, man. He must be absolutely buggered, man. Like, legit, he must be buggered. But I don't know, man. I think that he can end the season really well, especially if they get knocked out of Europa straight away. But I don't know. I just love the guy. I think he's just, he should be in everyone's team.
Yeah, definitely. And I think this Wolves team too, it's such a quality team. If you ever watch them play, they're a really quality team. They definitely deserve to be in the Europa. And I think they're going to fight for a Champions League spot too, because that fourth spot is up for grabs with my boys in blue, Chelsea just completely dropping off a cliff. We know Sheffield are now 2 points behind Chelsea. And you got Spurs in there just 2 points behind Sheffield. Everton a point behind Tottenham. United a point behind Everton, equal with Wolverhampton. So it is super tight at the top.
So
literally
tight.
6 points separate that Champions League spot from Wolverhampton. So I think Wolverhampton are going to have a great end to the season, especially if they get dumped out of Europa early, like you just said. That's going to be interesting to see. And Jimenez will be a must-own. So watch that space, especially non-Jimenez owners out there. Next up, I've got Firmino playing Norwich away. Mane, still a bit of a doubt. We still don't know whether or not he's going to play. If he doesn't play, obviously Firmino likes to step up when Mane and Salah aren't together, doing the little duet. So we've seen Firmino, what he can do. And in the last game week, getting those 3 just sumptuous assists. So hopefully he gets up again against Norwich and they give him a spanking. And next up was another one of my new recruits, Danny the businessman Ings. Brought him in this week. I just couldn't not bring him in. I just thought, these fixtures coming up for Danny Ings. He's blanked 3 in a row. I get that, but a lot of them there was a couple of rests, and he got taken off as well early when they knew the Liverpool game was completely out of the way. So I think now is the time for Danny Ings, Joffy boy. I know that there was a time for Danny Ings a long time ago. The guy's on 128 points. I get that, and you have a lot of those points.
What
but
a season!
Burnley at home, Villa at home in the next 2 great fixtures. West Ham away, Newcastle at home, Norwich away. Those 5 I saw. That's why I targeted Danny Ings. I thought, you know what, bring him in, give him those 5. If he plagues me like he has in seasons past, so be it. But if he doesn't, which I don't think he will, excellent signing. Thank you, Danny Ings.
Man, he's going to end with 20-plus goals for the season. It's actually insane. Like, it's going to happen. 14 goals right now, and he hasn't played game week 26. I expect at least 1 goal in this game. He's going to end with 20-plus goals in a season. Like, I got to repeat that shit. That's some, like, for someone that's there's not many players in a club that's in the bottom the bottom 10 that kind of do that. So it's something that it's like bringing back yesteryear with players from Southampton like Laetitia and stuff like that, even James Beattie and stuff like, all the old strikers. For him to do this, and he's not even on penalties, it's pretty special. So yeah, I think getting on him is great, and I'm looking forward to just running the Ings train all the way to the Game Week 38. I'd love to see what he's going to do.
Yeah, nice, man. So that's my team pretty much. Obviously, on the bench there, I've got Hayden, Soyuncu, and Kelly. So obviously, Kelly needs to go at some point, but that's not important. He's been my third bench for quite some time. Now, Soyuncu is an interesting one. A lot of people have been jumping off Soy. But the soy, you understand, the soy latte, he's been bubbling away, just doing nothing because Leicester have been playing some really hard fixtures. But coming up, if you care to look at the fixture ticker, coming up, they got Wolves away, fair enough, probably no clean sheet there. Then City at home, probably no clean sheet there. But then they got a nice patch of 4 fixtures where they got Norwich, Villa, Watford, Brighton, then Everton, Crystal Palace. That's when you start playing Soy. Soy is going to be locked in my team for the next 6 game weeks. No worries. So realistically, next week for Game Week 27, I'm probably going to do what my brother's doing and hold a transfer as it stands because my team's pretty solid and, I want to be ready for that Game Week 28 blank. And, always holding a transfer is always good. That way I can use it somewhere down the line. But,
Yeah.
I mean, it's all looking pretty good for me, mate. Pretty rainbows and lollipops going forward.
And what's your rank? 26. Did you mention your rank earlier? I didn't...
Yeah, currently sitting at 21k.
Yeah, nice.
So, back in the thick of it after a really disappointing triple captainship on Mane not too long ago, but these things happen, mate. So I'm looking forward to the end of Game Week 26. It's going to be interesting to get through this split fixture bloody game week.
It's crazy.
But, I'm happy that the game week started. I've still got my captainship just sitting there on Salah at the end of the game week. So it's going to be nice to have those points rolling in right before the game week ends.
Yeah, that's it. No, nice team, Mick. Well done.
Excellent, thank you, mate. That's it, mate. That's my team. That's my thoughts going forward. I hope you've enjoyed this show, guys. If you have, let us know. Maybe we'll do a few more of these coming up. But yeah, mate. As we say at FPL Take the Hit, always remember to stay positive.
Keep chasing them greenhouse, guys.
Thank you. Ciao, ciao.
Take the hit, take the hit.